Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Principles of Marketing. We are now at our fourth week, and for this week, our topic is market segmentating, targeting, and positioning. So, for this week, we will distinguish between targeted marketing and mass marketing, and also explain what led to the rise of each. We will also discuss the ways in which markets are segmented and explain why marketers use some segmentation basis versus others. We will also describe the different market segmenting strategies that companies pursue and also the reason why do they pursue it. And also for our last discussion for this week is to explain why positioning is an important element when it comes to targeting customers. So let's proceed to our first slide. So this one. So we have market segmenting, targeting, and positioning. Target market is the segment or group of people and organization you decide to sell to. So if you're planning to sell toddler items or baby items, so this is your target market only for the babies. So we also have here for the old people. So if you're planning to create a product for the elderly, so your elderly are your target market. So target marketing or targeted marketing, it is also called differentiated marketing, meaning that you may differentiate some aspect of marketing, whether it could be offering, promotion, or price. So for different groups of customers selected. It is a relative new phenomenon, and targeted marketing is more like shooting a rifle. So you take careful aim at one type of customer with your message. And usually, the trend today is toward more precise targeted marketing, figuring out who's who in terms of your customers involves some detective work, though often market research, that's what we call it, and a variety of tools and research techniques can be used to segment markets. And so we have here, so for target marketing, I have in our example a fan or a group of fans. So usually if you are targeted, if you're doing the targeted marketing or the differentiated marketing, it means you are just um, selling your product or service to a specific segment or group of people. So we have here the example of a fan base group. BTS is a popular K-pop group in Korea, and if you are selling BTS items or BTS products, usually the one who will buy it are the BTS fans only. If you're not a fan, you're not going to buy it. But if you're a fan, you will purchase their items. So we have also here um, an example of mass marketing, or I mean the meaning of mass marketing. So mass marketing is also called undifferentiated marketing. So we have here the opposite of targeted marketing. So targeted marketing is differentiated marketing, while mass marketing is undifferentiated marketing. So why it is undifferentiated marketing? Because it involves along with mass production and involves selling the same product to everybody. You can think of mass marketing as a shotgun approach. You blast out as many marketing messages as possible on every medium available as often as you can afford. So for mass marketing, you are selling your product or services to everyone. So it is not a type of marketing for a specific target market. So it that's why you call it mass marketing. So we have in our example water. Everybody needs water and drinking water. So that's why it is in the mass production and it is in the mass marketing. Also, I will tell you the meaning of segmentation. So we have here, segmentation is the starting point for understand your potential in figuring out exactly whom you want to reach. And targeting is the next step in focusing on those customer segments that are most promising customers. So targeting helps organizations use their resources wisely and customize what they do much more specifically for those who will see the greatest value from their offering. So we have here an example. We have segmentation, targeting, and positioning. We have here segmentation. It is understanding your potential customers' wants or how will you reach your customer. So we have here Sydney Pineapple Pizza Company. So for this one, they are segmenting their target market. So some of them don't like pizza, some like pineapple with their pizza, and some doesn't like pineapple with their pizza. So they divide the total market into manageable groups. And after segmenting or segmentation, they proceed to targeting. So when you target, you identify which groups offer the best chance of success and you focus on those customer segments that are most promising customers who would likely to purchase or avail your product or service. So if you target, it will help your organization or company to use your resources wisely, and also you could customize more specifically for your offering. And then later we will so on discuss positioning. But for here, for segmentation, targeting, and positioning, so if you're going to position your product, so you're going to build your brand to best meet their needs and be able to prove it. So to pineapple pizza lovers, the Sydney Pineapple Pizza Company is the pizza shop that delivers the tastiest pineapples pizza due to the sourcing the world's finest pineapples as proven by the World Pineapple Organization. That's why this company is just targeting the pineapple pizza lovers only. That's why it is Sydney Pineapple Pizza Company. So next we have here some benefits of segmenting and targeting markets. So we have a process that can help us or help an organization do the following. So we have here avoid head-on competition with other firms trying to capture the same customers. So if we're doing segmentation and targeting, this would avoid it. Also, you could develop new offerings and expand profitable brands and product lines. So also remarket older, less profitable products and brands since you're doing market research as well for segmenting and targeting markets. And you can identify early adopters or the new customers, and you may redistribute money and sales effort to focus on your most profitable customers. And last is to retain at-risk customers in danger of defecting to your competitors. So for this benefits of segmenting and target market, it can help you enlarge your customer base by giving you information with which to successfully adjust some component of your offering. So usually the offering itself is the price or the product itself and the way you service and market it. So more specifically, the process that we had enumerated can help us to more segment and target our markets. So we have here another topic is the one-to-one marketing. So forming close personal relationships with customers and giving them exactly what they want. And it is the opposite of mass marketing. So remember, we have mass marketing, which means everybody could be your target, everybody could be your market. So for one-to-one marketing, it is the opposite of it. So in terms of our shotgun versus rifle approach, you can think of one-to-one marketing as a rifle approach, but with an added advantage because we have a scope of our rifle. So this one-to-one marketing is an idea proposed by Don Peppers and Martha Rogers in their 1994 book, The One-to-One Future. So mainly the book described what life would be like after mass marketing, and we would be able to get exactly what we want from sellers, and our relationships with them would be collaborative rather than adversarial. Are we there yet? Not quite, but it does seem to be the direction the trend toward highly targeted market is leading. So for one-to-one marketing, these are the steps that we need to follow. The first step is to establish short-term measures to evaluate your efforts. So by establishing this one, we will be able to determine how we will measure our effort, and we will use our higher customer satisfaction ratings, increase revenues earned per customer, number of products sold to customer, transaction costs, and or another measure. Also, another step that we have is to identify your customers. If we identify our customers, we could gather all the information that we have about our current customers, including their buying patterns, likes, and dislikes. When conducting business with them, include an opt-in question that allows you to legally gather and use their phone numbers and email addresses so you can remain in contact with them. So for this step, if you are going to identify your customers, make sure that you have gathered their information as well so you may keep in touch in them, and you may be able to reach out to them for your product launch or new product advertisements as well. We also have the third step, which is differentiate among your customers. By differentiating our customers, we will be able to determine who is our best customers, and in terms of what they spend and will they spend in the future, their customer lifetime value, and how easy or difficult they are to serve. And for this differentiating among your customers, we will be able to identify and target customers that spend only small amounts, and we will be able to identify also who will be spending large amounts with our competitors as well. The fourth step is interact with your customers. Target your best ones. And for this step, we will find ways and media in which to talk to customers about topics they're interested in and enjoy. Spend the bulk of your resources interacting with your best high value customers because we want to retain our customers, remember? And we have to minimize the time and money you spend on low value customers with low growth potential. Remember, for those customers that has low value and low growth potential, we have to minimize the time and money that we spend onto them. Rather, we must focus on our high value customers. And The fifth step in one-to-one marketing is customize your products and marketing messages to meet your needs. So we have to try to, or you have to try to customize your marketing messages and products in order to give your customers exactly what they want, whether it's the product itself, its packaging, delivery, or the services associated with it. So it depends whether you want to put a personal touch on your product or services, but you have to customize your product and marketing messages to meet their needs and to retain your customer. So for this one, we also need to, for one-to-one marketing, for segmenting and targeting a firm's current customers, we finding and attracting new customer is generally far more difficult than retaining your current customers. So we have, when finding new customers, we have to get to know them and figure out what they really want. But it is a difficult process. But it could be trial and error, but what important is we get to know them, we have to form close relationships, and we focus selling efforts on our current customers. So we have here how markets are segmented. So different factors influence consumers to buy certain things, and many of the same factors that can also be used to segment customers. A firm will often use multiple segmentation bases or criteria to classify buyers to get a fuller picture of its customers and create real value for them. Usually, each variable adds a layer of information, and think of it as being similar to the way in which your professor builds up information on a PowerPoint slide, like what I'm doing, at which you are able to understand the material being presented. So for this one, upon segmentation or segmenting our market, we have four types. We have the geographic segmentation, demographic segmentation, psychographic segmentation, and the behavioral segmentation. For the behavioral segmentation, usually what we have here is what benefits do customers want and how do they use our product. For the psychographic, usually what do our customers think about and value, and how do they live their lives? For demographic segmentation, how do the ages, races, and ethnic backgrounds of our customers affect what they buy? And for geographic, where are our customers located and how can we able to reach them? What products do they buy based on their locations as well? So we have to consider those things. So we have here a table of the types of segmentation basis. We have here by behavior. So we have benefits sought from the product, how often the product is used, usage situation, is it for daily use, holiday use, or occasional use. So buyer status and loyalty to product, non-user, potential user, first-time users, regular users. So this is how we segment it by behavior. Usually, if we segment our market by behavior, it divides people and organization into groups according to how they behave with or act toward products. So benefit segmentation, segmenting buyers by the benefits they want from the products is very common. For example, toothpaste, which benefit is the most important to you when you buy a toothpaste? The toothpaste price, ability to whiten your teeth, fight tooth decay, freshen your breath, or something else. Mainly, perhaps it's a combination of two or more benefits. And if marketing professionals know what those benefits are, They can then tailor different toothpaste offerings to you and other people like you. Another way in which business segment buyers is by their usage rates. That is how often, if ever, they use certain products. So this is for the segmenting by behavior. We also have here segmenting by demographics. So we have here a list: age, generation, income, gender, family life cycle, ethnicity, family size, occupation, education, nationality, religion, and social class. So usually for um, we segment buyers by their personal characteristics and that is what listed below. And also on the table. And also demographics are commonly utilized to segment markets because demographic information is publicly available in databases around the world. So for the age at this point in our lives, we are probably more likely to usually we are probably more likely to buy something for our studies rather than for retirement, and marketing professionals notice. That's why they try to segment consumers by their ages. And also, income is one variable that needs to be taken into segmentation seriously because it indicates a group's buying power and may partially reflect their education levels, occupation, and social classes. So the higher education levels usually result in higher paying jobs and greater social status. Gender is also another way to segment customers. Men and women have different needs and also they shop differently. Consequently, the two groups are often, but not always, segmented and targeted differently. Family life cycle is also another way to segment consumers because it refers to the stages families go through over time and how it affects people buying behavior. So, for example, if you have no children, your demand for pediatric services, medical care, or for children is likely to be slim to none. But if you have children, your demand might be very high because children frequently get sick. And ethnicity also. So we take ethnicity for another way for segmenting our market because people's ethnic backgrounds have a big impact on what they buy. So if you've visited a grocery store that caters to a different ethnic group than your own, you were probably surprised to see the types of products sold there. So this is for by demographics. We also have by geography. So if we segment by geography, it divides the market into areas based on location and explains why the checkout clerks at the store sometimes ask for your location or zip code. It's also why businesses print codes on coupons that correspond to zip codes. And when the coupons are redeemed, the store can find out where its customers are located or not located. Usually they have a process and it is called geocoding, and it takes data such as this and plots it on a map. Geocoding can help businesses see where prospective customers might be clustered and target them with various campaigns ad, including direct mail. Combining both demographic and geographic information is referred to as geodemographics or neighborhood geography. So for geography, we have here region, it's either continent, country, state, neighborhood, size of city or town. Is it a small town? Is it a barangay? Is it a barrio? Is it a city? Is it a large town? So we also have population density, how many are living in there, and also the climate. So next is segmenting by psychographics. So segmenting by psychographics. Psychographic information is frequently gathered via extensive surveys that ask people about their activities, interests, opinion, attitudes, values, and lifestyle. One of the most well-known psychographic surveys is VALS, or what we call VALS, which originally stood for values, attitudes, and lifestyles. So based on their responses to different questions, consumers were divided up into the following categories, each characterized by certain buying behaviors. So for psychographics, we have here the activities, interests, opinions, values, attitudes, and lifestyles. So we have here, let's go back to our psychographics, and I will explain you some certain buying behavior of VALS. We have innovate on your handouts. You may see we have innovators, thinkers, achievers, experiencers, believers, drivers, makers, and survivors. So these are the division, or the characterization of the following, of the certain buying behaviors that we have. Next that we have is segmentation in B2B markets. Remember business to business markets that we explained in our week 2. So B2B is business to business markets. So for this one, we are going to apply segmentation in B2B markets. We have four segmentation. We have the price focus segment, the quality and brand focus segment, service focus segment, and partnership focus segment. So we have here, the first one is the price focus segment. And for this one, it is composed of small companies that have low profit margins and regard the good or service being sold as not being strategically important to their operators. So usually this price focus segment is mainly some travel agencies or small agencies that we have. Another segmentation in B2B markets is the equality and brand focus segment, and it is composed of firms that want the best possible products and are prepared to pay for them. Usually for this one, we have an example. This one, famous brand that we have is Louis Vuitton, and this firm, they want the best possible products and to be prepared for them. And we have here the service focus segment, and it is composed of firms that demand high quality products and have top-notch delivery and service requirements. For this one, a service focus segment, so we have here an example, a hotel. So usually a hotel will order to business some of their supplies, and they have to make sure that their supplies would be in high demand, in high quality, and it should have have top-notch delivery as well, because you are going to sell it also, or you are going to use it to your service in the hotel. That is why it is service focus segment. And we have here a partnership focus segment, the last segmentation in B2B markets, and it is composed of firms that seek trust and reliability on the part of their suppliers and see them as strategic partners. Oh, we have here an example. So we have a bank, which is the BPI, or the Bank of the Philippine Islands, and we also have a telecom communication company, which is Globe. So they have seek their trust and reliability on the part of their supplies, and they see themselves as strategic partner. So BPI and Globe have been a had created Banco, or what we call Banco, and it is a savings bank. So we have here a partnership focus segment. Now we have selecting target markets. So after you segment buyers and develop a measure of consumer insight about them, you can begin to see those that have more potential. And now you are hunting with a rifle instead of a shotgun. The question is, do you want to spend all day hunting squirrels or those who have money? And an attractive market has the following characteristics. So since we have segmented our buyers, we will select our target markets, and to make sure that we have this attractive target market, it should have these following characteristics. First, it is sizable, large enough to be profitable given your operating costs. So only a tiny fraction of the consumers in China can afford to buy cars. This is an example. However, because the country's population is so large, nearly 1.5 billion people, more cars are sold in China than in Europe. Why? Because of their population, and in the United States, depending on the month as well. And another example that we have is 3 billion people in the world own cell phones, but that still leaves 3 billion who don't. And then another characteristic an attractive market should have is it is growing. So we have an example. The middle class of India is growing rapidly, making it very attractive market for consumer products companies. People under 30 make up the majority of the Indian population, fueling the demand for Bollywood or Indian made films. So this Bollywood Indian made films is growing because of the majority of the Indian population is under 30. We also have here, it is not already swamped by competitors, or you have found a way to stand out in a crowd. Example is the IBM, and IBM company used to make computers or personal computers. However, after the marketplace became crowded with competitors, IBM sold the product line to a Chinese company called Lenovo. So the that's why IBM was lost in the market, because it was already sold to Lenovo. Also, another characteristic that a target market should have is it either it is accessible or you can find a way to reach it. Accessibility or the lack of it could include geographic accessibility, political and legal barriers, technological barriers, or social barriers. And we have here, the company has the resources to compete in it. And you might have the great idea to compete in the wind power market. However, it is a business that is capital intensive. What this means is that you will either need a lot of money or must be able to raise it. So these are the following. And also we have one last characteristics, F, if it fits in with your firm's mission and objectives. So for this one, we have an example. We consider TerraCycle, which has made its mark by selling organic products in recycled packages. So take note of this. Selling organic products in recycled packages. Fertilizer made from worm excrement and sold in discarded plastic beverage bottle is just one of its products. It wouldn't be a good idea for TerraCycle to open up a polluting coal-fired power plant, no matter how profitable the market for the service might be. So it fits in with the firm's mission and objectives. So we have here the target market strategies. We have the multi-segment marketing, and most firms tailor their offerings in one way or another to meet the needs of different segments of customers. Because these organizations don't have all their eggs in one basket or resources, they are less vulnerable to competition. And multi-segment marketing strategy can allow firms to respond to demographic changes and other trends in market. So I have here, this one is multi-segment marketing. So the toothpaste Colgate is offering different variety of its toothpaste. It has the sensitivity, it has the power of whitening, it has for kids, it has for total cleaning. So as you can see, it is under multi-segment marketing. Another target market strategy that we have is concentrated marketing. For this one, it involves targeting a very select group of customers only. And also, concentrated marketing can be a very risky strategy because companies really do have all their resources or eggs in one basket. But usually, they do is micro targeting or narrow casting, and it is a new effort to isolate markets and target them. Also, they have what we call the niche marketing, and it involves targeting an even more select group of consumers. And when engaging in niche marketing, a company's goal is to be a big fish in a small pond instead of a small fish in a big pond. So we have here an example of concentrated marketing, a company or company line that sells only gear for those who are in sports of scuba diving only. So of course, if you can't, or if your activity is not in scuba diving, you won't be able to buy this scuba gear. Or if you don't know how to swim, you won't be able to buy this scuba gear. That is why it is in concentrated marketing. So usually companies do is they provide all the needs that the customer or consumer wants, especially if it is in the concentrated marketing only. Now we also have here positioning and repositioning. So for um, positioning, it is a marketing concept relating to a process of creating an image of the product in the minds of the consumer, or in other words, create a niche market for itself. And repositioning is changing the position of product in the market or consumer's mind. So why should buyers purchase your offering versus another? If your product faces competition, you will need to think about how to position it in the marketplace relative to competing products. After all, you don't want the product to be just another face in the crowd in the minds of consumers. That is why we are doing this positioning and repositioning offers. And if you position your product, and one way to position your product is to plot customer survey data on a perceptual map. This perceptual map that we have is a two-dimensional graph that visually shows where your product stands or should stand relative to your competitors based on criteria important to buyers. So a tagline is a catchphrase designed to sum up the essence of a product. You perhaps have heard when this tagline, it's better than fast food. So what other taglines that we can cite as an example here in the Philippines? So in Philippines, we have a tagline from McDo, love ko to. Also in Jollibee, we have Bida ang saya. So if you could think about some other taglines, you may also share it to the class in our GC as well. So it would be a great help to others that they should know the tagline of each product as well. So we have here an example, milk and it is a powdered milk, and it is named as Bear Brand from Nestle. So we have here positioning. So you are going to position your product in the market. So this Bear Brand is a powdered milk for kids, and then they repositioned their product and they created Bear Brand Adult Plus. So now Bear Brand is not only for kids but also for adults as well. So that is positioning and repositioning. So for this topic, we have references from Principles of Marketing from Mindshapers Co. Inc. from Intramuros, Manila, written by Pedrito Real Pereda, Purisima Pedrialva Pereda, Dr. Vicente M. Castillo. Also, we have some suggested readings, and it's the same that I have told you as a reference. So, Principles of Marketing from Mindshapers Co. Inc. from Intramuros, Manila. So, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me. You may personally send me a message in my Facebook account or Facebook Messenger, or you may directly ask me at school. So before ending this class, we have an activity, and in your PDFs or printed handouts, we have three activities. Our first activity is essay. Our second activity is true or false, and our third activity is case study. But I will just only require you to answer activity 2, which is true or false, and write true if the statement is correct and false if it is wrong. Total of 15 items. So again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me. So before ending this lesson, I would like to say thank you, and we had distinguished between targeted marketing and mass marketing and explain what led to the rise of each. We had also discussed the ways in which markets are segmented and explain where marketers use some segmentation based versus others. And we had described the different market segmenting strategies that companies pursue and why. And we had explained why positioning is an important element when it comes to targeting consumers. So I'll just share a Bible verse from the book of Mark, chapter 9, verse 23. Said Jesus, everything is possible for one who believes. Once again, thank you everyone, and God bless.